Okay, so now it's time to, excuse me, to work on the wedge. Now what I've done, I've got the razor in the scales, and it's pinned with a micro fastener I got from Mike Martinez when I first started building scales off of Badger and Blade. And I appreciate that, Mike. It's helped me a lot. But I want to show you the finished scale first, the one that I've finished. If you look at it, it's easy to do, brothers. It really is. You don't have to have a ton of machinery, or you don't need any of that. I mean, it's nice, and if you were going to do a lot of them, you know what? That's a good thing to have. I'm not saying it's not. But you don't have to do what we're doing here. So now I have this piece of, I call it paddock. It is, a lot of people call it Paduke. P-A-D-A-U-K, I believe it is. I believe it's an Australian wood. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But it's a reddish brown wood. I think it'll go really nice with this maple. And it's a little thick if you look at it. About 1/8 of an inch. We're going to thin that out. But I'm going to use this as the wedge. And in order to do that, I need to find me a pen or a pencil, something to mark this with, because I forgot. Hold on a minute. Let me get in my toolbox below here and see what it is that I have. Okay, that might work. Alright, what I'm going to do, in order to do this, you have to, what I do, I don't know, I've seen wedges put in at angles and all kind of stuff. What I'm going to do is right here, see where the tip of the blade is right here. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that right there. And I'm going to mark right there. Where the tip of that blade is. That's where I want. And I need a thinner pencil for that. Let me see what I've got down here. Yeah, this will work if I can sharpen it just a bit. I've got to sharpen it in here somewhere. It has ran away from me. I cannot find my pencil sharpener. That's alright, I think this will work anyway. But I want to mark that. I want to come down here. And I want to mark there. And then I'll take this and use it. I'll draw me a line. That's where I want my wedge. So that it kind of, what I'm trying to do is I want it to clear that wedge a bit. So I'll put it back just a hair back behind this line. But I want to kind of make just a tiny bit of contact. And this is just me, okay? I don't know how everybody else does it. This is what I do. I want to make a tiny bit of contact right here at the tip of this razor when it starts getting about right here, so that it doesn't try to continue on. Now, if you build your wedge properly, that helps a lot too. But I want to be able to kind of let the wedge hold it here without damaging the blade in any way, dulling it, or anything like that. So that's what I'm doing there. And what I'm going to do is set this on here just like this. This is not rocket science. And I'll draw me that shape out. Then I'm going to set this razor here. That's going to look beautiful, ain't it? Hold on. I can't get the doggone thing in the mirror, in the picture. That's going to look lovely, ain't it? Anyway, I'm going to set this to the side for now. And what I'm going to do, I can't do this on camera because I don't have facilities for it. I'm going to cut this shape out. And I'll put it in a small vise and sand down to that line. And then we'll come back to the razor for some more. Later. Alright, I'm back. As you can see, if I can get it in camera, this is pretty thick. The wedge shape has been cut out, but it's pretty thick. So you guys are probably familiar with my sanding board. This piece of sandpaper is wore out. I don't have any more. All I have is this little piece right here. So I'm just going to lay it right flat like that, and I'm going to take my fingernails and grab it along the edge there so that I got plenty of room. Now I'm going to take my hand sand that. And I'm looking for what I'm guessing to be about a 1/16 of an inch. But I'm doing it by eye. I'm not going to take a pair of calipers or anything like that to this. I'm just going to sand this until I like the thickness of this wedge piece. Now one of the things that I will do is I'm going to flip it over now and sand on the other side. And the reason for that is a couple of reasons. One of the reasons is I want to smooth both sides out. But also, I want a fresh piece of wood. I want fresh wood on both sides. I'm going to glue this wedge. I'm only going to glue it on one side, but I want a nice clean contact on both sides of this razor, or both sides of this wedge, so that everything looks nice and clean and smooth. And also, if you notice, the other side, the one side of that scale is not finished. Well, once I glue this wedge in and sand it to where it matches that end, see, we're thinning out. Doesn't take much. I debated on whether to sand on this and just cut the video and come back, but I want to show you it's not that hard. Anyway, the other one side of the razor scales is not finished yet, and reason for that is that I'm gonna glue this wedge in once I get it formed. And it's getting close. But I'm going to glue this wedge in. Then I'm going to finish the other side of the scales and finish over top the outside edge. And while I'm here, I'm going to smooth that up some. But I'm going to finish on the outside of this wedge so that when the scales come together, it'll be pretty, so to speak. So do a little more sanding because I can, because I think it needs it. I see a lot of beginners, and I did it too when I first started bending scales, they make this wedge really, really thick. If you look at most razors, it really isn't that thick. So, alright, to me, I know it'll look bigger in this picture, but that's about right. That's a little over a 1/16. And to do the wedge, all you're going to do is you're going to put pressure. See my finger here? On this end of the wedge. The end is supposed to taper. As you sand. Just put some pressure there. Sometimes it's cantankerous. You have to adjust a little bit. But you want to put some pressure. It's real easy to do, gents. Not that hard. Not that difficult. Now I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to sand the other side. And I'm just trying to get a nice wedge shape. Alright. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. But it definitely has a wedge shape to it. So, I'm going to set this. Alright, I'm using net material. This is my bench for working electronics and stuff on the guitar. So, but anyway, I'm going to do that. Set that aside. And I'm going to get me a little clamp here. Actually, I'm going to use one of these because I like the smooth jaws. And I'm going to come here to this razor now. And I'm going to give it a look first. Okay. So, in my opinion, I can do that right there. In my opinion, see, the thing with it is what I want to do is I want to get as much finish work done on this edge, on this wedge, as I can before I put this thing, before I glue this thing. I want it to be as closely matched as I can get. Okay, that's touching just a hair. I want it, yeah, right about there. Before I do any gluing, I'm going to take me a bit of super glue. I'm going to drop me a little bit on here. That's what I want right there. Yeah. Beautiful. Alright. And I'm just going to do this right here. Just because I always think it's better to clamp something than to not clamp it. Just a personal kind of opinion of mine. But I'm going to go ahead and I'll let that set about 10 minutes. And then I'll be back later. Alright, so right there's the wedge, glued in place. And what I will do, let me go ahead and do this here and kind of show you. The razor will have the proper angle and all of that. It's definitely a wedge shape. What I'll do is I'll take and finish just a bit. Try to get it as close to these edges as smooth as possible. And then I will finish this scale and this part of this wedge. I will first drill this pinhole and make sure they do whatever acrobatics I have to do to make sure they line up. And then I'll finish this scale off. I pin this where it's supposed to be, and we'll go to pinning the razor. So I'll talk to you again once I have the wedge end pinned and it's finished.